Hi everyone. Have you ever stood in front of a boiler and it doesn't work? It obviously used to, and it did maybe yesterday or the day before, but today it's gone. It's not working. So whether you're a homeowner or an installer breakdown engineer and you'd like some hints and tips, then that's my job. That's what I do. So what we're going to cover in these videos are different chapters of what to look out for first, second and third, whatever's necessary, how to test various components, and most of all, don't panic, because I've made lots of videos, over 200 of them, all to do with central heating in a nice, easy to follow way. But first of all, if you haven't subscribed, please do so and click the like button. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate every single click and member of our ever-growing family. So let's start off with, don't panic, let's see what's going on. Whatever the problem you have in central heating, my yellow book, Central Heating Fault Finding, has almost certainly got the answer. Flowcharts, how to do what, how to test, sequence of operations, etc. So I'll show you a few clips, and it's available from our website, mrcombi.com. So let's break down the boiler into two parts. This is the way I've always worked. Is it an electrical fault or is it a mechanical fault? So electrical fault is blowing fuses, more or less. Mechanical fault is something seized up, worn out. So the first thing we always look at is the electrics, the fuse. Make sure you've got a new tested 3 amp red fuse, as we can see, because that's the only one that's allowed to go in central heating boilers and systems. So now we need to remove the fuse from what you've got. So turn the spur off, remove the fuse and test it. Put the new one in, that's how we test it. Switch back on again and see what happens. Either you've still got no lights, or there was a brief moment the lights came on and immediately the fuse blew. If that's the case, stop, leave it switched off, and then call the manufacturers. If you have a regular gas safe registered engineer, then give that person a tinkle. But phoning the factory may be an easier, quicker, and almost certainly cheaper, because many manufacturers will provide a service where for a fixed fee, maybe £200, they will replace a couple of components. And quite often the PCB and the pump is amongst them, but they will tell you what they will do for how much. And they'll be out within a day, 2 or 3 at the most. So that's always a good way of doing it. And in fact, when I was on the tools and I had too many jobs, which was quite normal, I would simply phone the factory, get the engineer out, they would quickly fix it, and then I would learn what had gone wrong. So the customer pays the factory, not me. But I learned something, what actually went wrong for the next job. So that's always a good way. If the lights stay on, but nothing is happening, that's a good sign. Don't turn the tap on. Don't switch the central heating on yet. Look at the water gauge. And as you can see here on that slide, it's 1 bar for any system which is 3-bedroom semi, 100 square meters or less. No higher than 1 bar. This is absolutely crucial. If it's less than 1 bar, then look at the instructions to the boiler, how to top it up. So I've made a couple of videos, but basically ask the manufacturer to guide you through the filling loop process, because it's always going to be different. Take a photograph, because you may need to upload that so they can see what's gone on, because sometimes manufacturers provide a filling loop, but the installer doesn't use it. They use their own, and that makes life much more complicated for the end user to top up the water pressure. But the upshot of this little section is you must start at least with 1 bar pressure. And what we will do first is go to the central heating side and switch the programmer on to constant. Then we go to the room thermostat and turn it up to the maximum temperature you can, which is going to be around 30. And let's see what happens. So most importantly, don't touch the tap. Test everything in central heating mode first. If the boiler does start working in central heating, just feel the fat pipes underneath the boiler. One of them should be getting warmer and warmer. If that's the case, switch off, because so far what we've done is we've tested the programmer. It sent a message to the room thermostat. We've tested that because the wire has come back to the boiler and it's responded by switching on. So we've tested two components in a couple of seconds. So if that's the case, switch off the central heating first, as we did before. Turn off the room thermostat, but check the boiler has actually switched off and not stayed on. To test the hot water, we simply go to the kitchen sink, it must be the kitchen, and just turn the tap on halfway. Not too much, it's a waste of water. The boiler should now respond, yes or no. If it doesn't respond, there's your problem. Diverter valve. It's not moved off the central heating side, or the other fault could be the hot water flow switch is stuck in the off position. So that's why. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it useful. If you have, please leave me a comment below. If you haven't and you've still got a problem, leave me a comment and a question below of what you've got and what the fault is, and I'll answer it as soon as I can. So I'll put up some excerpts from the yellow book and one of the apps, the blue app, which is a video on how to test certain components and the sequences as well. So that's well worth downloading. It's only $4.99, the same as all our apps. So they're absolutely geared up for any installer or breakdown engineer. So once again, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing, and take care, and I'll see you on the next video.